Live from Citizen TV, this is The Explainer with Yvonne Okwara.
Yulan Zale is our sign language interpreter. Let's begin tonight at State House, Nairobi, where regional heads of state and government joined President William Ruto today in officially unveiling former Prime Minister Raila Odinga as Kenya's and the East African region candidate for the position of chairperson of the African Union Commission. In a ceremony that brought together 3 visiting presidents, 2 former presidents and 1 prime minister, regional leaders poured accolades as they roundly endorsed Odinga for the Addis Ababa top job. And making his case before the State House gathering, Odinga outlined his vision for Africa, rallying the continent around the figure of a lion whose time, he says, has come. Citizen TV's Ayub Abdikadir reports on the State House event that has Raila Odinga's departure from local politics to the continental stage.
Here was the man of the moment, Raila Odinga, walking out of an office he for so long sought to a rapturous auditorium that also had his newfound biggest backer, President William Ruto, to make his case for the highest office of the African Union. Touting his accomplishments as a peacemaker, mediator and an African statesman, Odinga dedicated enormous energies in using the Lion of Africa analogy to envision the continent, which he said can break barriers that have held back its progress and prosperity.
The lion is an African animal. Is a king of the jungle. The Cameroonian national soccer team is called the Indomitable Lions. The soccer team of Senegal is called the Lions of Teranga. The soccer team of Morocco is called the Atlas Lions. Here in Eastern Africa, we call it the Simba. The king of the jungle. When the king roars, the jungle listens.
In describing Africa's enormous natural resources, Odinga said economic dominance by Asia, Europe and America is up, propping himself as the ideal driver of Africa to prosperity.
The African lion is giving a message to the Asian tiger, that you Asian tiger, you've danced on the stage alone for far too long. It's your time to quit. The European bear retreated to the North Pole a long time ago and is freezing there in the ice. The American panther is also on the retreat. But I'm here as the African lion.
The former Prime Minister will square it out with Madagascar's Richard Randriamandrato, Djibouti's Mohamed Yusuf, and Anil Gayan from Mauritius.
And after that, we are going to be launching.
Beyond Nairobi's push of its candidate, Kenya's former Prime Minister was also presented as a regional candidate in style, visiting heads of state from East Africa throwing their weight behind Odinga.
I know that Honorable Raila not only possesses the requisite credentials, but he is also the ideal candidate to lead the African Union Commission.
That the United Republic of Tanzania assures Republic of Kenya of its full support for the candidature of Right Honorable Raila Odinga for the position of African Union Commission chairperson, and Tanzania says, Baba anatosha, achaguliwe.
I am here to support the candidature of Raila Odinga as the chairperson of the African Union. Asante sana.
And that is the launch of the Raila Odinga for AUC chairmanship.
From here, Nairobi embarks on a diplomatic mission that will embody continent-wide campaigns in an environment filled with complex geopolitics informed by domestic developments, all at the expense of the taxpayer, with the cost implication of funding Odinga not yet clear. Ayub Abdikadir, Citizen TV.
So it would seem there was a lot else that happened at that event. And just what about Babu Owino ticked off Uganda President Yoweri Museveni. Citing what he called intelligence reports, the Ugandan leader made a beeline for the Embakasi East MP, saying Babu Owino has been working with elements opposed to his government. And as Stephen Leto reports, a political dalliance and personal friendship of two youthful populist politicians may well be behind the apparent outrage of Uganda's president of 38 years.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni delivered a long and evidently captivating speech, punctured with stories about his community, the Banyankole, and about his cows and bananas. And the entertaining anecdotes came in between the strong endorsement of Raila Odinga, who he described as an outstanding Pan-Africanist. But then came one reservation.
There are some individuals in Raila's group who I don't think know what they are doing.
According to the Ugandan president, Babu Owino, the Embakasi East MP, has become a constant feature of his intelligence briefings.
You know, I am a consumer of intelligence services. So I always see intelligence service reports. There's a character called Babu. I receive Babu. Dealing with anti-Ugandan group, anti-NRM group, seeing Ugandans. So I had never chosen him, but now I am choosing Babu.
President Yoweri Museveni has been in power for 38 years, and Bobi Wine, a youthful, popular former musician, has emerged as his closest challenger. The Ugandan opposition firebrand happens to be friends with the equally youthful Babu Owino.
His Excellency Bobi Wine, welcome.
On occasion, Babu Owino has made his views on Uganda political events well known, and he is on record protesting the arrest of Bobi Wine by Museveni's security operatives.
The arrest of one Bobi Wine is cantankerous, it is obnoxious, it is belligerent, and it is causing anguish, consternation, discomposure and discomfiture of spirit among the Ugandans and among members of Africa. And one dictator, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, should know that an injury to one comrade is an injury to all.
Babu Owino and Bobi Wine have also stepped out together in political rallies, notably in Embakasi's Jacaranda grounds and Kibra's Kamukunji grounds in Nairobi. And President Museveni often became their target of sharp attacks.
When I was in prison, the Kenyan brothers and sisters put up pressure. More than 50% of the pressure on the internet all over the world came from Kenya. Bobi Wine amepigania haki ya wanyonge waliokuwa pale Uganda. Na tulisema ya kwamba na bado tunasema ya kwamba hapa Afrika tunataka unite kila mtu. Tunataka unite youth wote wa Afrika.
By expressing discomfort with Babu Owino's dalliance with Bobi Wine, East Africa's longest-serving president paints the youthful Bobi Wine as a consequential opponent. And this with elections approaching in 2026. And so comes another story from Yoweri Museveni, a story of Babu Owino and Bobi Wine. Stephen Leto, Citizen TV.
Leaders of a section of Azimio coalition affiliate parties have declared Kalonzo Musyoka as the new coalition leader, replacing Raila Odinga. This following the official unveiling of Raila Odinga's bid for the African Union Commission chair. The Wiper leader warned the government that it will see an opposition like never before, even as he takes over the mantle.
Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka says he is now the official opposition leader, replacing Raila Odinga, who launched his African Union Commission's chairmanship bid.
Acknowledge the place of family.
Musyoka's leadership claim being backed by Democratic Action Party of Kenya leader Eugene Wamalwa, Jubilee Party Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni, and KANU's Secretary General Frederick Okango.
In Azimio, there will be no vacuum. The next ranking member of the leadership of our coalition is the Honorable Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka.
And as I say, yes, we are ready to do our duty to God and our country.
The Wiper leader warning President William Ruto's administration that it will see an opposition like never before, even as it takes over the mantle from Raila.
But as I do that, I'm not alone. We are with the majority of our people who expect that this administration will be kept on its feet. In fact, they will see opposition that they have never seen before.
Join us in Operation Okoa Kenya under the leadership of Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka.
It is my time now to be in opposition and to be in ODM, that we fight for Kenyans. We will ensure that the government, that which they promised, is indeed delivered to the Mama Mboga.
In marking the 14th anniversary of the 2010 Constitution of Kenya, the leader stated that the full implementation of the existing law lacks political goodwill, calling for the realization of the NADCO report to address the inequality gap in the law. With Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka officially declaring himself as the new opposition leader, it remains to be seen whether he will match or even extend Raila Odinga's legacy as the opposition leader. Seth Olale, Citizen TV, at the Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka Command Center, Karen.
All right, let's turn our focus now to the education sector. The Employment and Labour Relations Court has temporarily stopped the nationwide strike by the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, KUPPET, pending the determination of a case filed by the Teachers Service Commission on Monday. The court's action comes as the strike marked its second day, with teachers from parts of the country who took on their colleagues who attempted to defy the strike and teach. Here's Brenda Wanga with that report.
On the second day of the KUPPET strike, and secondary school teachers picked up from where they left on Monday. They remained resolute that no learning would take place in schools. At the Machakos Girls High School, angry KUPPET members had purposed to invade the school when they heard that some of their counterparts were defying the strike action and had reported on duty. Students who had already reported watched the unfolding scenes.
Teachers are out there making demands which are legal, while then some teachers were in class. And in particular, we are concerned about the principal who is there because of intimidating teachers. And therefore, we had to get into the compound. We got in, and surprisingly, the teachers disappeared into thin air. They heard that KUPPET was coming, and they decided to disappear. And therefore, we gave our grievances. We said what we wanted, and we said that we do not want any form of teaching to go on from today henceforth.
At the Machakos Township Secondary School, KUPPET officials accessed the school and the staff room, but found that the teachers had already fled the school, and here, students had also reported for the start of the third term and walked right into the confrontation between their teachers and the government. In Busia County, the determination to disrupt learning for schools opening there was equally evident. Teachers stormed Kolanya Boys and Kolanya Girls High Schools to enforce the strike. From the administration block to the dormitories, the teachers swept through, ensuring that not one teacher was on duty. The students who were reporting to the two schools could only watch in awe as their teachers outlined their grievances.
Sasa hatuna msema ukweli kwa hii serikali. Sisi mpaka Mheshimiwa William Ruto pesa yetu ifike kwa bank. Ndio sisi tuende darasani hatuwezi.
Tumechoka kama walimu, tunaomba tume ya walimu iache madharau. CBA ilikuwa ni maelewano na maelewano lazima yatimizwe.
In Kisii County, teachers took issue with their colleagues who had shown up to some schools to teach. The striking teachers were kept at bay by the heavy presence of police at select schools who were keen to protect the students already in school, while other students and their parents took the cautious route and played the wait-and-see game.
Kwa idadi iliyo chini sana, tunaogofea hata kama sisi wasasi kama watoto watafika shule wasikutane na walimu warudi.
Lakini vile nimeona kwa leo, kuna ile kitu walikuwa wanasema eti ni mgomo. Naona wanafunzi hawajakuja vile walikuwa wanakuja hapo kitambo. Kuna upungufu kiasi, maana kuna uoga. Kama jana niliona mgomo kiwa town hapa, walimu wakipiga kelele hapa na pale. Hata waliingia mashule mengine wakaanza kufukuza walimu kutoka pale.
Sababu kuna wale wajana, siku ya jana ilikuwa Monday, ndiye ambao ilikuwa watu wa form 3 na form 4 waingie, lakini walimu walikuwa na maandamano yao Kisii na kila sehemu ya Kisii County. Kwa hivyo hawakuwa wanafunzi pia wakakuwa na hofu kuwa hata wakiingia hawangepata wa kuwahudumia.
The teachers continued with their strike that was called to agitate for the betterment of their welfare as the Employment and Labour Court in the capital Nairobi ordered that the union stops their industrial action pending the determination of a case filed by the Teacher Service Commission challenging the union. The court orders come as the union was set to meet the Ministry of Labour's mediation team on Wednesday for further engagement by both parties to resolve the teachers' grievances. In the standoff that continues as the teachers dig in for the long fight, students remain caught in the middle. Some of them have reported to schools, while others are still unsure of their next move. The teachers have insisted that the students stay at home until the strike is resolved, while the government has assured parents to present their children for learning. Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV.
And in a bid to resolve the standoff with teachers, the government has pledged to release 13.5 billion shillings to address the plight of teachers. Education Cabinet Secretary Ogamba Migos stated that by Friday, teachers will receive payments in their bank accounts as part of the collective bargaining agreement for the period between 2021 and 2025. Melita Oletengis reports.
The stalemate between secondary school teachers and the government, which has disrupted learning nationwide, seems to be getting government attention. Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Migos Ogamba says 13.5 billion shillings has been released to address salary increment complaints.
In effect, therefore, all the major issues that had prompted strike notices have either been addressed or are lined up for effective and decisive conclusion within the shortest timelines.
Acknowledging that the standoff with KUPPET members was threatening to not only disrupt learning but interfere with secondary school examinations, Ogamba appealed to KUPPET to end the strike immediately.
We've shown the goodwill that we are concerned about their plight and we want to do the right thing by them. But they also need to go back to class because the students are sort of getting the short end of the stick when we are doing these negotiations.
The collective bargaining agreement awarded teachers a salary increment of up to 9.5%, with the first phase paid in August last year. The CS also pledged to honor other demands, including hiring of more teachers and conversion of junior secondary school teachers to permanent and pensionable by January 2025.
So the 46,000 teachers are on course to be confirmed permanent and pensionable status by the government, and hopefully we'll be able to complete this by January 2025. So they should not be having any anxiety over whether or not they are going to be confirmed.
Ogamba spoke at the African Technical Schools Conference in Naivasha, where he also reiterated that the government plans to employ 2,000 instructors to provide training at these institutions. Melita Oletenges, Citizen TV.
Now, in a developing story, police and the National Transport Safety Authority have launched a manhunt for a van captured on video driving dangerously while ferrying students to an unknown destination. The vehicle, a white van with registration number KDG 056B, was recorded driving at high speed with students hanging precariously out the window. Kenyans have condemned the driver of the vehicle for risking the lives of innocent children. Ode Francis now reports.
video, which has since gone viral, shows the driver speeding in a zigzag manner, with schoolgirls seen hanging dangerously and engaging motorists, while others are seen hanging their legs outside the window. The driver of the vehicle, with the registration number KDG 056B, white in color, appears undeterred despite ferrying school-going children. Initial investigations from NTSA reveal that the vehicle is registered as a commercial entity, with its inspection due to expire on April 17th of 2025. However, it is not affiliated with any non-SACCO. The NTSA and the National Police Service are actively searching for the driver and the owner of the vehicle. Both the driver and the passengers now wanted for violating traffic laws. Authorities are urging motorists to exercise caution, especially with school reopening this week. Ode Francis, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Now, when the deal is too good, think twice. Well, that's a warning that may have come too late for hundreds of Kenyans who are now counting losses after investing over 300 million shillings in a money lending scheme. Businesswoman Pascaline Peter, who is behind the investment scheme, is being sought by police after going into hiding. According to the victims, the suspect lured them into a trap of investing millions, which could later be loaned at an interest of up to 30% to unknown borrowers. What started as a good deal, with interest being paid on time, has turned into delay games and empty promises.
In what appears to be a common con trend in the country, hundreds of Kenyans in Nairobi, Machakos and Kajiado counties are the latest victims of an investment scam started by a businesswoman known as Pascaline Peter. This group of investors, whom we met in Nairobi's Central Business District, are still in shock following the loss, and for fear of being ridiculed, they requested for anonymity.
50, 335, 19, 700.
Take a look at this investor. She has kept a record of how much she invested and the dates when she expects her money to generate interest.
First I started with 100K. So that's how and then I went another 100, and then I was not picking my interest for a while. I took my interest for 1 month. The next month I was like, let me give it back to her. So I gave it back to her.
Having invested for the last 8 months, she has lost over 5 million shillings to the scam, which was run by someone she considered a friend. This man, who lost close to 1 million shillings, says he had his doubts when he was introduced to the business. He was, however, convinced by a friend to invest more when he earned his first interest.
The whole money that I put in, mimi nimechukua pesa mara mbili peke yake. Mara mbili, which is I think 94,000 ilirudishiwa peke yake. Mpaka sometime last week, the same friend anipigia, na kitu cha kwanza kaniambia kuna shida. Pressure wacha ipande, niliganda.
We met another group in Malaa, Machakos County. The group of 8 had traveled from Ruaka and Kitengela in search of Pascaline, who allegedly lives in this neighborhood. However, they were unlucky after they were informed that she has not been seen around for the last 1 week.
I'm so concerned, and I'm just worried because prior to this, we've been talking on phone. Until this week, I've been talking to her. I didn't know it was a mess because I just recently joined after referrals from my pals.
Magai has lost over 500,000 shillings, which she had invested at the beginning of this month. But there was a catch that attracted many to invest in the money lending idea.
The policy was, if you give her money, she's supposed to pay you with a certain interest. But if you want money, who is an investor, as they said, you can borrow money at no interest because she still has your money.
Ruai Police Commander Patricia Yegon has confirmed that they are investigating cases reported at the station by the victims.
We have received some 3 reports of some members of public who have been conned their money through online, and currently the DCI has taken up the matter and is doing the investigations.
Our efforts to contact the suspect,
were futile as her phones were switched off.
Samahani, mteja wa nambari uliopiga hapatikani kwa sasa.
Meanwhile, more victims from Kenya and abroad continue to report to police, demanding back their hard-earned money. Gatete Njoroge, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Now, a family in Kisumu is seeking government's intervention after their kin who traveled to Qatar to work as a domestic worker died under mysterious circumstances. 30-year-old Mary Awonda reportedly died just 1 week after leaving her home in Kisumu, with the cause of her death having been enlisted as electrocution. The family is, however, raising questions over the cause of her death. Laura Otieno has the details.
A somber mood hangs over the home of Grace Awonda. Family and friends have gathered here, making burial arrangements for 30-year-old Mary Awonda, who died under unclear circumstances in the Gulf country of Qatar. The mother of two had left the country on 24th of July on the invitation of a close friend to work as a domestic worker in a private home.
Hiyo kazi alipata ni kazi alikuwa anaulizia, akasikia kuna mwenye anataka mfanyikazi. Hasa alisema tu lazima, anaona kama kwenda nje ni mzuri, kwa maana hiyo mshahara pia alikuwa anaenda kupewa ilikuwa mzuri, anaanza kulinda nayo familia yake na waishi vizuri.
Mary, a graduate in hotel management, did not even get her first salary. As the family says, they were informed of the death of their kin just 1 week after she landed in the Gulf country.
Kulingana na ripoti yenye tulipata huko ya postmortem, ilikuwa nasema alipigwa na stima. Na hiyo stima tulipewa tu final results, lakini hatukupewa ripoti venye upasuaji ilifanywa. Sasa hiyo ndio taswishi.
Vile Mary aliaga, kuna nyanya yake pia mwenye amene mafuta pia Mary. Aliposikia hiyo kifo, pia yeye alishtuka, shtuko ya moyo na akafa. Sasa hivi vile tunaongea tuko na matanga mbili.
The body was repatriated on 19th August, but the family has been unable to raise funds for an independent post-mortem examination. Juggling between two funerals, Awonda's family is hoping that justice will ultimately be served. Laura Otieno, Citizen TV.